on that forum, all the areas that I've identified requires follow-up. So he would take the opportunity to follow up on all these areas. We don't intend to have any of these areas lagging behind or drop. So it is not only in terms of lift. India's interest is also to see how they can work with us on the entire ecosystem surrounding our oil and gas, whether it's technology transfer, training of our human resources, building capacity in terms of the value-added services that is required for the oil and gas sector, purchasing of our crude oil, co-investment or investment, and they're also encouraging their private sector to participate in the auction that we have now. So that is a direct answer to your question. Now, in relation to identifying 3 areas that we will see action, I would like to say to you that every area I've identified, you will see action. Every area I have identified, you will see action. For a matter of fact, our goal as government was to open up opportunities for the private sector. They have already established many MOUs with partner businesses. But from the government side, you will see technical teams coming in to help us in aquaculture, horticulture, sugar, our food production system, the food technology, the biotech facility supporting agriculture. So those are areas that I would say are low-hanging or immediate in terms of the type of support that you will see. Now, let me give you, for example, I only received this on my way back. There's something called Bima bamboo. Bima, you know, hear about bamboo and the potential of bamboo. 200 acres of Bima bamboo is required for the generation of 1 megawatt of electric power. 1 megawatt of electric power, 200 acres of Bima. 150 acres of Bima bamboo cultivation is needed to build 1,000 homes. And this is what they're doing now. This is not new. This is not something that is in the testing stage. This is something that is being used now. If you look at timber homes, to build the same 1,000 homes, it will take 500 acres of our traditional forests in terms of lumber. While with the Bima bamboo, it's 150 acres. Now, the Bima bamboo, we have the best climatic condition in the intermediate savannas for Bima bamboo. But the government can't go and plan this. I'm looking forward now for the private sector to utilize this opportunity that the government is enabling, and I know Rafiq and all of them are doing this, to move towards building a consortium to make use of this opportunity. And that is what this is about, you know. The community forest organizations that we have, not only looking at extraction of lumber and wood now, but to see how they can be part of this, building the ecosystem around all of this. What we are doing, a lot of what we are doing is really setting up Guyana to function in a sustainable, resilient way in an economy 2030 and beyond. That is what a lot of the investment that we're making today will do. Create an environment, an ecosystem in which our economy 2030 and beyond will be second to none globally.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have, just before you go ahead, Kiana has a question, and then we'll take Kurt.
Good afternoon, members of the head table. Mr. President, just a few questions. With respect to the oil and gas sector, on 2 separate occasions, the Natural Resources Minister, Mr. Vikram Bharat, and the Vice President both said last year that government is not keen on long-term agreements for the oil and gas sector, that you're more prone to there being an auction. Specifically, Vice President Jagdeo had said to Reuters that if India wants such an agreement, they should bid for it. Can you explain why government is more inclined now to do long-term agreements as opposed to an
Let me stop you there.
auction?
I did not say anything about government is inclined for anything. I don't know which part of my press conference said that government is inclined to do this. I said that there is a proposal. That proposal will be made to a technical team, and then we will move forward as to in relation to what the proposal says. But there's an interest, and that interest will be examined through a proposal. I didn't say government is inclined to do anything at this point. Let me make it very clear once again. There has been a keen interest consistently from India to be a long-term purchaser of crude oil from Guyana. In addition to that interest, they have expressed also a keen desire to support us in the entire ecosystem around the oil and gas sector. I said to the team, and I'm going to repeat it, that they should put in a proposal as to what exactly they're proposing in terms of a long-term agreement, and that has to be examined technically. Full stop.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Can you say if India is the only country that has expressed such a desire? If there are other nations that you've indicated that they can submit similar submissions?
I don't know of any other expression of a desire. I can speak to you that the one I'm aware of is that on this visit, the Petroleum Minister of India raised this specifically with me, so I can speak definitively about that.
Okay, thank you. Secondly, on the oil and gas audits, can you give us an update on that? You had said it would be received from the auditors last December.
Well, I can only tell you what you know. So I know that there's the work that was ongoing, work that was received, so I don't know what update I can give you. But what I can say to you is that I'm very pleased that the audits have commenced, that we have audits now, and that the audits will continue.
Sir, last year you had said that the audit reports would be released. Can the public still look forward to that?
The public can look forward to a lot of things, and I'm not a person who walked back on my commitment to this country.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kiana. A question from Kurt, and then we'll take Samuel.
All right, Kurt Campbell, Newsroom.
Yes.
Mr. President, going back on the proposal from India, could you say when that proposal is expected? What are some of the provisions you and your technical team would like to see in that proposal? And also, you talk about the long-running interests from India, but is the hope to finalize this agreement at the time of the VP's visit? And secondly, can you say when the government, or whether the government, whether the government will make a decision on awarding blocks directly to the Indian government?
Oh my God, you've gone even 5 steps forward. I don't know when you heard I said awarding blocks directly to the Indian government. I said government-to-government collaboration. There's an interest in government-to-government collaboration that is far from awarding blocks directly to India. Court, we in 2 different press conferences here, brother. So let me say this to you. We are far apart there. There's totally a misinterpretation on your part, not on my part, because I'm very clear. So there's 2 things. One is that a technical team will examine this court. We have to await what the technical team say. I don't know what the proposal will be. I haven't seen the proposal. So 2 technical teams, the technical teams will work, submit, and then, of course, whatever they submit, you will know. Whatever you submit, you will know. Everybody will know whatever they submit. What proposal they're making to the government, you will know. The second thing is we have said consistently that there is a scope for government-to-government collaboration in terms of the development of our oil sector. Not only India. There is a scope. We can't speak openly about some of the interests now, but of course there are other countries that has been pursuing the oil and gas sector here in Guyana. But there is I would say there's an interest in exploring the opportunity. Let me put it that way. In the meeting with the minister, the interest of exploring that opportunity of government-to-government collaboration was very clear. There was also a clear undertaking that the private sector of India in the oil and gas sector will be encouraged to participate in that auction. We also encourage the government of India to have their agency participate directly in the auction also, because we would like to see as much people, every government that is interested in participation participating in the auction participate, we would welcome it. We love it. We are encouraging every single company. Let me say this very clear. Guyanese company, any company, you want to be part of the auction, please come up. Any government in any part of the world, any company in any part of the world, you are free to be part of the auction. This is not for India. The same invitation that we gave to India is the same invitation to the rest of the world. Full stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll now take a question from Samuel.
Mr. President, good afternoon. Samuel Suknandan, NCN News. Just a little outside of the presentation today, I'd just like to go with the budget 2023. You detailed some of the tangible benefits that will be derived from that budget. Last night, the opposition leader, Aubrey Norton, spoke about it. He labeled it anti-poor and anti-working class. He also said it's for families, friends, and favorites. I'm sure you would object to that. Your response to the opposition leader's comments?
I'm just shocked and surprised. But what more can we expect? Where there is emptiness, there is a lot of noise. Where there is emptiness, there is a lot of noise. So let's examine this budget that is for friends and family. I was going through in a live last night some of the benefits of this budget and what it brings to people. All right? So let's take, for example, the housing program. 25,000 Guyanese family would own their own lot, their own house lot, and their own homes eventually. So that is 25,000 friends and family of the government. I take it. Thank you. I take them as my friends and family because every Guyanese is my friend and family. So yes, Mr. Norton, the 25,000 that will be getting their house lot under this government is our friend and family because in your 5 years of government, you failed to give any of them anything. So I take them. They are my friends and family. The movement of the threshold from 75,000 to 85,000 that will benefit tens of thousands of Guyanese, they are my friends and family. I love them. Do not claim them as your friends and family. You said that they are our friends and family, so they are my friends and family. Let's go on. The Because We Care grant that will benefit 214,000 school children, 214,000 families. They are my friends and family. I love you guys. You are my friends and family. Tell the opposition leader, thank you for understanding that you are my friends and family. That is why we are working for you. That is why we're helping you. So the 214,000 children that are benefiting, you are our friends and families. The thousands of consumers who will benefit as a result of the reduction in the freight costs, you are our friends and family. Yes. Yes, Mr. Norton, they are our friends and family. Every Guyanese is part of our family and friends. The $3 billion in salary adjustment that will benefit the 5,000 healthcare workers and 9,000 members of the disciplinary forces, you are our friends and family. Yes, you are our friends and family. You are part of this great One Guyana family, and I'm happy that the opposition leader has finally realized that all of these people form part of this one big, happy Guyana family, the One Guyana family. So I'm not looking at it as a negative. You know your president. I don't look at anything in a negative way. What the man was really saying was that Guyana and the delivery of Budget 2023 is for the entire Guyanese friend and family. He's accepting the fact that the PPP government has embraced the entire Guyana community as our friend and family. So why are you beating up the man? My friend, why are you beating up this man? This man has finally come to his realization and the reality that this budget and this government is delivering to the friends and family of the PPP who constitute the entire whole of the country. All the Amerindian communities and Amerindian that will benefit. The Because We Care grant the school transportation grant, the income tax threshold adjustment, the salary adjustment, the expansion of the part-time job program, $10 billion. $10 billion going back into the pockets of people, improving disposable income. What that means is $40,000. Any of you have a low-income loan here? $40,000 would pay back your loan every single month. That is what it means for the ordinary people. Yes, they are friends and family. Yes, they are part of the Guyana collective, friends and family. I am happy. Y'all misinterpreting the man. That is what he meant. That the budget has delivered for all Guyanese who are part of this grand family. This one Guyana family. So, you know, I think y'all just made a mistake, misinterpret what the man was saying. Our cost of living adjustment plan. And by the way, I see this nonsensical thing about cash transfer. My dear friends in the media, go and read the IDB report and see what it says specifically about Guyana and specifically at the best tools that were used in the cost of living crisis. And you will see Guyana shining. Furthermore, let me see. I heard somebody talking about inflation. Inflation and managing inflation, the proof is in the numbers. Guyana is among the lowest tier of countries in the globe. The lowest tier of countries in the globe in terms of inflation rate and the passing on of inflation on consumers. That is not what I'm saying. That is what the stats is saying. You know why? Because of proper management, proper policies, ensuring that the economy does not overheat, bringing the balance. And that is what Budget 2023 does. I will continue with Budget 2023 some other day, but let me tell you, let me go on about the friends and family thing that you just raised. The 29,000 persons, families that will benefit from public assistance. The more than 73,000 pensioners that will benefit. All those who will own, all of you here too, who are going to own your own home now, and know many of you building your own home with the interest ceiling of 20 million and less, you are my friends and family. Kiana, you are my friend and family, my darling. All of you are part of my friend and family now. Leon Johnson, you who are contracting, you're building homes for people, you are my friend and family. This is an acknowledgement, and I'm proud of this acknowledgement, that Guyana now blossoms. I'm going to adopt that slogan. One Guyana for one family. We are one friend together. That is a good one. Yes, I love that one. One Guyana for one family. One Guyanese family. So the removal of VAT on residential properties, the helping of the vulnerable in our society, the building out of an infrastructure, an ecosystem that will support tens of thousands of farmers. But then again, they won't know about that because they closed the Sugar Industrial Center, more than 7,000 people. Then again, they won't know about that because they sent home more than 2,000 CSOs, Amrinian workers. Oh, they were not friends of the government. That is why you send them home, because you saw them not as friends? Oh my God. Well, all those persons who we brought back, they are our friends and family. All the jobs we are creating. When I go into I'm going to soon into that area. But when I go to Kanji, or South, or Boystone, or Lenora, and we deliver to the people roads, community roads. That is where the money is going, and drainage, and employ our brothers in Victory Valley to build the roads. It is our friends and family. Yes, my dear Guyanese brothers and sisters, you are our friends and family. But, you know, sometimes people get caught up. And I think that is what my friend from NCN, you got caught up with the negativity of narratives, man. The man was being positive. He wanted you to understand that the budget is delivering for the one Guyana family. So let me stop there. I am going to deal with this budget in a more substantive way as time go by. But I'm going to deal with it on the ground, in the arms of people, in the hearts of people, alongside people, walking the ground, walking the streets. By the way, I'm inviting all of you Saturday night. We talk about a clean city. We want a clean Guyana. Guyana must be the cleanest country we can think of. So I'm inviting all of you Saturday night. We're going to go plant some trees and plant some garden on Lamaha Street. The friends and family, let's go out together and plant. I can make some lemonade for you guys. Marcel, watch it. You don't drink lemonade? You won't get anything harder than that. All right. Any other question? Yes. Kiana.
So, okay, we had Dennis waiting.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's take Dennis, and then we'll take the young lady in the back, and then come back to the front.
Okay.
Good day, Mr. President. Do you have any plan to build a mass transit rail system to move large numbers of commuters and address the road congestion? And secondly, in relation to the oil contract with India, any future oil contract, what may be the pros and cons, the oil purchase contract, what may be the pros and cons of government having a long-term oil sale agreement with India, and how will Guyana guard against any international price movements in such an arrangement? And as far as the horticulture and agricultural projects are concerned, will India be supplying labor to get those projects off the ground? And what provision will be made to phase in Guyanese labor, that is local content? And if you'll permit, sir, when will teachers' salary scales be adjusted upwards?
Thank you very much, Shabal. So first of all, the transit system has been something we have been discussing at a technical level. From a planning perspective, if you look at the population density from Grove on the East Bank to maybe Nabakalis, and the movement of people along that corridor, one might easily say that a rail system is easily justifiable. But whilst these things are in its early stage of examination, there is no decision on that as yet. But I would say to you that it's not outside of our thinking horizon. It is not outside of our thinking horizon. It is something that from a planning perspective, we are examining, and any decision would have to be based on a full-fledged study, to justify such an investment. But I won't say it's outside of the thinking horizon. The oil, if there is a potential contract, of course, that has to go through a whole process. We shouldn't jump ahead of things. A proposal is coming. Whatever is in the proposal has to be examined. After the examination of that proposal, of course, we may have questions, we may have queries. Those questions and queries, answers to those questions and queries will be sought. But no decision has been taken to contract or to go in contract with India this time. No decision has been taken in relation to that. Let's get that very straight. It is an examination of the possibility based on a request by India. They will submit their document. That's for that. Now, the horticulture investment and all of agro-processing has to do with technology transfer. In these modern days, and that is why we have to move forward with the use of technology. It is not displacement of local labor. For a matter of fact, what we want is the development of local labor and the creation of small and medium-sized enterprises out of this industry. So it's about the technical knowledge and the technical expertise help build this industry with the utilization of technology and also taking our comparative advantage, matching it with what they can offer to enhance our productivity. That is what it is about. It is not about supply of labor for the horticulture industry. It is not about, it's about technology, expertise, the experts coming in with the right technology, supporting us to build our own capacity, and of course, utilizing technology to help us. And what was the last question? Oh yeah, teacher salary. As I said, from day one that we are looking at salaries in a holistic way and in a phased manner. At the end of last year, we adjusted healthcare workers and members of the disciplinary forces. Other categories, as I said, are under examination, and the adjustments will be made at the appropriate time. One thing you can rely on this government is that we never ever walk away from our commitment.
Dennis, there are other persons waiting. So.
Mr. President, what do you mean by government-to-government collaboration in relation to the oil sector? It's technical language, probably.
It's not very basic language, actually. Government-to-government collaboration is a wide concept. Now, you remember earlier we were talking about the possibility of developing our own oil company. Remember that. Now, what we have seen is that there is private sector interest and there is government interest. There's a lot of government around the world that has invested in the oil and gas sector. That they have expertise, they have years of experience in the oil and gas sector. Now, their system allows them for their government to be an investor or be part of a development, oil and gas development. So that is what we mean. Countries like those who have a direct interest from a government level to participate in or be part of the development of the oil and gas sector. In a narrow way, that is how I'll put it, Dennis. Yes.
Thank you. We'll take a question from, just stand and the mic will come.
Good afternoon. My name is Davina Bhagat and I'm with Kaichur. Mr. President, Dr. Ashni Singh, and I'm going back to the budget just for a bit. He said that it's keen on avoiding the Dutch disease, but he also reported that the massive growth in the economy was fueled by the oil sector. Sir, does this concern you, and should Guyanese be alarmed by these figures? And just before you go, Mr. Glenn Lal has also sent me some questions that he would like you to kindly answer. He said he would have liked to be here.
And you are, Mr. Glenn can come. Why he didn't come?
He said he was stopped at the gate because they told him he was a bit late. Yeah.
Well, you know, you got to be early in life. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of things, you know. So let me answer your first question. The Dutch disease. You can sit.
Okay.
It is nonsensical. Absolutely nonsensical for one who understands Guyana economy now, is driven by a huge development of the oil and gas sector, to not understand that the oil and gas sector would be bringing in large-scale revenues for the country. That has nothing to do with the Dutch disease. The revenue that comes from the oil sector has nothing to do with the Dutch disease. It is what do you do with that revenue? How do you use that revenue in the building out of the economy? How do you do that, use that revenue in building prosperity in the country? How do you use that revenue in building up the infrastructure, in building out the social sector, healthcare, education? How do you use that revenue in building a diversified economy that functions on a broad economic platform that supports growth, that supports revenue streams that are much larger? What you fail to say to in your question is that if you take oil and gas outside of the discussion, the non-oil economy grew by more than 7%, which is among the largest growth globally. Why did it grow? It didn't grow by accident. The oil and gas sector also stimulates other sectors in the economy, like the construction sector. Our construction sector is growing phenomenally. So everything is linked. The Dutch disease is not about the growth of the oil sector. It is about how you disperse the revenue. And one of the worst things that, that can take you to the Dutch disease scenario the fastest is by thinking you can take oil money and distribute it to every home. I think opposition leader had suggested that. Thank you.
And for the first question from Mr. Lal.
How many questions you have?
Just 4.
Okay.
He says several oil experts and international bodies has been critical of the way your administration is handling the oil sector. the IMF has just warned us to cap the interest rate on the oil companies to avoid them from robbing the country. And the Commonwealth just released a report in which, among other things, they said if we don't monitor or take control.
Let's deal with statement of fact. Did they say that about Guyana, or was it a general statement? Because I know what it is. So you tell me. You are asking me this question now, my friend. You tell me, was this a general report, or was this a report about Guyana?
The Commonwealth was general.
Thank you. And the IMF was?
It was direct.
No.
I'm sorry.
Quote directly for me what the IMF said about Guyana.
I don't have the direct quote.
Well, how we
right
can't?
now.
Well, I can't answer you. You quote directly for me. And if Kiana is helping you on this, Kiana, you're her aide on this, then you get up now and quote directly for me what the IMF said. Quote for me what the IMF said in relation to Guyana. I will answer you directly. Then also, the Commonwealth, there are many oil exports also who are writing about the performance of Guyana, who have lauded the government of Guyana for the way we are handling the oil and gas sector, for our work in terms of utilizing the administrative mechanisms, for our work in a new PSA, for our work in going out to auction on a new block. So what is it you want? What is it we want exactly?
Mr.
And please
President,
quote directly.
Okay, Mr. President, unfortunately, I was not blessed with a photographic memory. But
Okay,
what
so
I
then
can tell you,
then we will.
one second, Mr. President.
No. If you're
What I
not going
can
to
say-
quote what the IMF report said directly, then we'll take the question another time. So continue with your third question. We have to be fair to each other. If you're quoting directly from a report, then come prepared to quote the report.
No, sir, she was not quoting from
Well,
a report.
well, the young lady told me the IMF said this. She couldn't say whether it said about Guyana, and then you said, yes, it is about Guyana. All I'm asking is for you guys to quote directly what the IMF said.
Mr. President, I was asking for an opportunity to explain
Please go on.
what the report
Please go on
says.
to the next question. Please go on to the next question. Once you quote, I will answer.
No problem. Thank you, sir. For the second question, he says,
The third,
the third,
yes.
he says,
He said who? Who is he?
Mr. Lal.
Okay, Mr. Lal
These
said.
questions are from Mr. Lal.
Okay.
He said, VP Jagdeo said at his last press conference, nothing will change in the Stabroek block deal. Is this your position as well, that nothing will change?
We are not running two government.
As for another question, he says there seems to be a constant blackout in Guyana, not from GPL, but from your office and that of the entire government circle. This is so as you have not been hosting press conferences. Can you shed
My
some light?
dear, let you be honest now. I want you as a journalist to be honest. Have you ever seen a more accessible president in the history of Guyana than this president?
Sir, we're not
Have
just
you
talking
ever
about
seen?
you, though.
I am accessible every single day. Let all the journalists just answer here. Have you ever seen? Marcel, you guys should answer honestly. Let Chabral answer honestly. Have you ever seen a more accessible president in the history of this country? I guarantee you that you have not. You come anytime, anywhere, I am, and I will answer any question you have. On the road, in the village, in the stream, on the boat, you come. I will answer any question. In the history of this country, my dear friend, I'm telling you, you name somebody who has been more accessible than me.
But while this may be the case for you, we have been trying on multiple occasions to get responses from Minister Barrett, for example, on
You
issues.
just asked about me. You said about my
No, we
offices
said
and
press
blackout.
conferences. We said
You
press
said my
conferences
office and
generally
blackout.
from
I just
your
came back
office
from
and the
India. I have a
government.
press conference. I'm available. I answer every single question. I don't know what more can I do. What more can I do?
All right, for
I am
example,
open, transparent. I do everything on a live. You don't even have to guess. If a man wants to cuss me, go on a live, you'll see he cuss me. Because I don't do things in a planned manner. I go out there, you go on my Facebook. But you know, one good thing is that the narrative cannot be skewed. When the narrative is on a live, that is the narrative. You can hear who is against you, for you, what suggestion they have. I don't hide. And let me tell you this. Mr. Lal knows this. If he has a question, you can send a question to me. You send a question to my office and you will get an answer. I am open to the press. I am very, very much open to the press. I am available to the press.
All right, if I may continue, thank
So
you very much.
you'll make sure you make use of that.
Yes, sir.
Thank
I will.
you.
Thank you. Finally, he says the gas to shore, the gas to energy project, the largest ever investment your government is embarking on, is US $2 billion. And the people you have put in charge has never held a press conference or a discussion to show this nation how the investment will be successful and not become another Skeldon plant.
My dear sister, I want to ask you something. How many articles have you seen on this gas to shore project from the government?
To be honest, I haven't seen a lot, and
You
we've
haven't
been
seen a
trying
lot?
to.
So let's make a test case now. Can somebody Google for me Guyana gas to shore project, and let's see all the articles that will come up. All the articles, all the press releases, every single thing that will come up. Can somebody do that for me, please?
We would love to have one quoted as well.
One
Because
what?
we cannot recall any statements being sent out,
No,
any press conference
I have
on
spoken.
this particular
I have
issue.
spoken on the gas to shore project on many occasions. The vice president has spoken on the gas to shore project on many occasions. Ministers in the government have spoken to the gas to shore on the gas to shore project on many occasions.
But when we confront them with issues and questions too, they decide to tell us that
They-
no, they're not answering
The gas to
questions on
shore
that
project,
issue.
as you know, went out to public tender, international public tender. The most transparent process you can ever get. And what it will deliver to the people of this country is energy at half the price you pay today. Imagine that for manufacturing. Imagine that for industrial development. And I know, right, I think on a show on your radio station, the vice president went in details to show the payback period of the gas to shore project. We just have to be honest, you know. I don't have an agenda. I do not have an agenda. You just have to be honest. You will go right on your radio and see that there was an entire program done by the vice president on this.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sir, please permit me to allow 2 other questions, unless you would like to take more. This young man's hand was up, and then Marcel will take a follow-up. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, good day. Shamar Musa from the Guyana Chronicle. On the issue, on the millets thing that you mentioned, we know that 200 acres are set to be set aside for that. One, can you say how soon we will see that being identified? And also, does that include facilities for the production of products that are derived from millets? And my second question is, during the India trip, were there any discussions as it relates to the expansion of trade? And did that include finding solutions to the lengthy export and import process between the two countries?
Yes, there were discussions on expanding trade and the challenges that, one of the challenges, of course, is transportation and logistics and geographic distance. So that question was examined and the challenge that brings, but we're going to deal with that. The second issue is on the millets. Yes, we are looking, we said I will look at bringing together the local farmers to see if we can use, how we can use 200 acres as experimental. India, of course, will support us with the technology in doing this. There must be a reason why UN declared 2023 as the year of millet. So that is something that we are exploring. No, that is what I mean. The entire ecosystem around it, which include the processing.
We'll take our final question, sir, from Marcel.
No, let's do Marcel and Kurt.
Okay. And Kurt.
Kiana, what about you?
Mr. President,
Kiana is my friend, you know. Not true, Kiana? You're not my friend? Oh, you're part of the One Guyana family. Right? Thank you, my dear.
I had forgotten. It's on the India trip.
Uh-huh.
You had purchased, the Times of India had reported that you purchased an aircraft.
Oh,
That's what it said. The president, and I quote now, eh?
no. What?
It says the president has 18-seater aircraft more. He has made a draft to process its purchase within a week.
No. That's absolutely not the case. So let me tell you. The aircraft, as I said, we have been sending technical teams. The technical team are looking at the Skyvan. One is already out and one we have limited hours on. So the replacement aircraft that we are looking at, one of it is this Donair. And they are now working at a technical level. I know some meetings are going on now with the Civil Aviation Authority of Guyana, with the Civil Aviation Authority of India. Then there's a technical team that will go to make an assessment, and then we'll get recommendations out of that. But what they have proposed is to supply not only of the craft, but the training, the technology, the maintenance stream, and everything.
Mr. President, David Papana, Starbuck News. Quickly.
You got a new hairstyle, boy. Like something grazed the side of your head.
Yeah,
2 marks
yes.
there. Yes.
Could you give us an update on the process of the appointment of Chancellor and Chief Justice, please?
So you decide to make a full blow today. So there's no update from the last time. We have to get the Judicial Service Commission in place. We are working on having that in place. I'm very concerned that is not in place as yet, but it's no fault of the government of Guyana. You know the whole situation surrounding that, but we are pushing ahead to get the Judicial Service Commission in place, and then all other issues surrounding that will fall in place.
And finally, could you give us an update on the fishing license between Guyana and Suriname, the 150 fishing
I have
license?
no update on that at
No
the
update.
moment.
We'll take
The
her.
talks are ongoing. You know, we're not hearing much noise now, right? From the fisher folk. So, yeah. All right. We are working hard on every front.
Mr. President, back to your India trip. I did not want to lose the opportunity to get some more information on the potential of partnership with the Indian authorities as it relates to Gaisuko. And you also mentioned Silica City. What exactly is Guyana looking to the Indian authorities for? And I'm asking a question against the backdrop of the interest expressed by other countries.
No, of course. There's interest expressed by many other countries, especially on Silica City. The support I'm talking about is urban planners. They have specialist urban planners that they can help by sending here, that would work with our local urban planners, that would impart technology transfer of ideas, and so on. So those planners, you got the quotation in the meantime, though, my friend? Otherwise, I'll take your question back again. You get the quotation? But you have some time as we go on to get a quotation. I will even retake your question. Once you get the facts, I'm ready for it. Yeah, so the technical expertise, definitely. We will get the technical expertise from there in the urban planning. That is all it is to help us, because we are at that important planning stage. In relation to Gaisuku, we have to bring in technical expertise. We have been open to private sector involvement, and any private sector involvement, we have had expression of interest. But now we have to work now on getting the technical capability to support our local management team to push this company faster into profitability, to look at the restructuring and so on. Guatemala is also very much interested in this. Hopefully, when are they establishing their embassy? In March, Guatemala is establishing their embassy here, a full presence here, and they're also very much interested in supporting us in terms of sugar and Gaisuku. All right, then thank you very much. God bless all of you. And listen, I am open to you guys anytime. Feel free to send the questions anytime, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President, honorable ministers of government and members of the private sector, ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you so much for coming. And if you're joining us via Facebook or any of our local networks, thank you as well. This will bring us to the end of the press conference for today.